My Big Fat Pull List is the name of this highly produced special mission podcast. Its purpose? To provide deep dives for the listeners covering comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture.
Hey, welcome back, listeners. How you all doing out there? So as you guys know, the Marvel movies were very popular, very successful, and they've actually announced the titles of some of the upcoming movies. One of them being Avengers Secret Wars, which is probably a few years down the road. And there are a lot of people out there going, what is Secret Wars? Why is it called Secret Wars? Well, Secret Wars is a massive Marvel crossover that I'm actually going to break down for you guys. Now, I'm not going to be able to do the whole thing in one episode, but we're going to start breaking down Secret Wars.
And no worries there, because Dr. Impact has got you covered.
No,
I've got
no.
What?
No, stupid. There's no S.
No, got what?
No.
It's Secret War.
Well, no. Guys, that's actually not right. Do you know what they're talking about?
I didn't bring shit.
That's Secret War.
No,
So does
no.
this. This
No
is Secret
S.
War too. Oh.
No S.
What we're talking about is Secret Wars, the recent crossover
Oh.
from Marvel Comics,
I'll-
written by Jonathan Hickman, with a lot of the art from Esad Ribic. This is for the main story arc itself.
This isn't what we brought.
I'll
No.
put these away.
Yeah, we'll just. Yeah, okay.
Now, this is one where, now granted,
Sorry, gently.
Doctor Doom does play a major part in this original one, as well as Secret War. Actually, now that I think about it, he plays a major part in all three Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is
Doom
really
is
kind of
a major-
Pistol, you
character.
and Doom are BFFs.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate?
Yeah, he does
What,
things.
what you plotting over
Secret
there?
things.
He does things.
Secret things.
He does Secret Wars you don't know about.
Well, I'm going to talk to you guys about Secret Wars. Well, we are all kind of thinking the direction of the movie is going to be. And for those of you who don't want to read the massive amounts of books,
And it is massive.
yes,
So,
Mhm.
so like, is this like a guess? Like, you think you're pretty sure covering this? Or is it
I think it's going to be a
Okay.
lot of
I'm
this.
just curious. I didn't know if you read something somewhere or yeah.
No, nothing's
Punch.
been confirmed, especially because, I mean,
It makes sense though.
they
It
could
makes sense,
change.
man.
They haven't even started really
Right.
writing this.
No, you're
A
right.
lot can change depending on who's popular, who's not
Yeah.
later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, my thought was, let us read Secret Wars. Sorry, let me read Secret Wars, and we'll break it down for everybody so that way you guys don't have to waste your time reading it, and you're ready for when the movie comes out and you be like, oh yeah, I heard that really cool podcast talk about this once. They weren't talking about us, but they did hear it on the podcast.
And-
or if we get asked, hey man, what's Secret Wars about? Go listen.
It's right.
Go
That's right.
listen.
Right.
And to be clear, just to clarify on the joke that we were making earlier, in the 80s, there was one of the first comic book crossovers of all time was a crossover from Marvel, a 12-issue series called The Marvel Superhero Secret Wars.
Isn't that where
Which is-
Spider-Man gets his black suit?
It's where Spider-Man gets the black
There you
suit
go,
and
everybody.
everything. And
Fun-
we'll
fun
definitely should do
Yeah.
an episode on the old one, because it is a great,
Yeah.
a fun 80s crossover. They brought that back again in the, what was it, early 2000s, I guess?
Yeah.
When Brian Bendis did The Secret War, which was
Right.
the books that Smurfy was just holding up, and that was more like an espionage kind of thing
Yeah.
using the
Nick
title.
Fury sent a bunch of like street level style.
Self-undercover.
Yeah, and that-
Sorry, I mean cut you off, man.
No, you're good.
And that's a cool story too. We should
Yeah,
probably
great
do a
story.
video on that at some point. But it was a few years after that, about 10 years, 15 years after that, when Jonathan Hickman did a brand new Secret
Yes.
Wars that dealt with the multiverse, which the other two did not.
Right.
And with the MCU going through the multiverse right now, it seems like that is more than likely the Secret Wars that they're going to pull.
Yeah.
Question. Can we use different names? Like Secret Wars, Secret Wars, Secret Wars?
No.
Come on, guys. Like,
Well, technically,
I mean, it's not us, I know. I'm just
but I
saying,
mean, technically, the original one is technically called Marvel Superhero Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yours
And
is
then
called
Secret War,
Secret War.
No S.
Right,
That's
and
the
this
official
is
title,
just called
no
Secret
S.
Wars. So they do technically have different titles.
I don't like that
but-
technicality
Okay.
at all.
Flag on the play.
Yep, kind of makes me mad.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Well, there's a lot to cover in this. So,
There is.
so Dragonus
Yeah, so-
will stop interrupting.
I'll shut up.
There's
now.
a lot to cover. This is not going to be all covered in this one episode. That's because I want to keep you guys coming back.
Hmm.
No, there's just too much to cover in one episode because I've taken the daunting task of reading every tie-in and crossover.
That was my next
like I
question,
did
man,
with
because there's a
Dark
lot.
Knight.
I remember there was
is
a lot of
lot.
tie-ins.
And
Tons.
I'm going to be straight and frank with y'all right now. I'm still in the middle of reading it.
Yeah,
Mhm,
dude, yeah.
sure.
So I've broken it up into different different
Do you know how
parts.
many issues total? In case someone's listening. Like 20 to 30?
No.
Oh, probably more than that.
20 or
That's
30
no,
is
I'm
the first
saying,
part.
So anybody listening can go, I can get 12 issues. No, man, this is like 30s.
No, this is
Oh.
100.
This is-
Seriously?
yeah, it's a lot.
There we go. Listen.
It's a chunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
It's
we
Sean.
will you be able to and like kind of put them into a reading order? Did you find a reading order
I
that
found
you're
a reading
using?
online that I'm using
And does it
Okay.
work, or
Yeah,
you have
it's
to?
good.
so far.
Okay,
Now
because
there
I
are times where like
Well, it's going to happen. They're going to be weird crossovers.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This happened slightly before this. Or
yeah,
after
yeah.
this.
There's times like that, or where like
Right.
the first half of book happens before
Right.
something, and the second half of that same book happens after
Yeah.
something.
sure. No, I just mean that there have been reading orders that I have found
Mm-hmm.
for stuff for episodes that we've done in the past that were wrong.
No,
And
this
then
is-
when I put them together, I put together a new reading order, which we do want to put up on our website, guys. That will be up there at some
Website
point.
work in progress.
Reading
Hey, man,
orders. So
Age of Apocalypse.
Like the Age of Apocalypse,
the
yeah.
paperback form that's professionally done was printed out of order.
yeah,
Mm.
And when you
So-
read it, you were super confused.
yeah. So I didn't know if this was an order that works.
From what I have read, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So
Should that change, you'll let us know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No.
I hope
Okay.
so. I was like, haha, got you.
now, from what I've read, this is an accurate reading order.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
All right.
so with that, what do you say we all just dive into
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Secret
man,
Wars?
dude.
So, Secret Wars. We're going to start with part 1, which is the last days.
Great place to start. The
I
beginning.
thought so too. Well,
Yeah.
George Lucas would disagree.
That's why I said this is a great place for us to start, man. The beginning. Compliment.
So there is technically a part 0, which is in Avengers 35 through 44, and New Avengers 24 through 33. That's kind of like a lead up to Secret
Wait,
Wars.
is all that considered to be issue 0?
No, that's not.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's part 0, not issue.
Got you. God,
it's a
that's not
kind of a.
confusing. Okay.
It's if you wanted to read the lead up, that's the lead
Gotcha,
up to it.
that's the
I
lead
haven't
up.
read up that yet. I don't think
I
it's,
did read some of those.
I did.
and
I
it
did
was-
too. It was like a lot of the
It
incursions.
was like a
and-
teaser.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Like, oh, hey, we think something big and secret's coming.
Yeah.
You know, okay.
It's another thing that makes me think the movies are going that
Yeah.
route because that storyline dealt with a lot of multiversal incursions.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And if
that
you
was the
guys
whole
remember
secret, yeah.
from Multiverse of Madness,
Yes.
that was a big point, was
Right.
incursions.
Because they slowly started introducing all the worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this, after who was time hopping or whatever, they were like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta go
Well,
or
and
whatever.
Even in the Stinger, Clea even says, you've created another incursion. We've got to go.
Yeah, and incursion's a word that's used in Ant-Man and the Wasp as well.
Is it? Okay, I've not
Interesting.
seen
Cool.
that
Yeah,
as
I've
well,
seen
but
that
okay,
this
yeah.
time.
All right.
Oh, spoiler alert. Here's what happens to Ant-Man.
Here's the end. Thanks, buddy.
So that's basically the prequel leading up to it, are those issues. And like
Okay.
I said, they're Avengers 35 through 44 and New Avengers 24 through 33, if you guys
18
want to read,
issues.
roughly.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as
It's
the
not
lead
sm-
up.
It's not small, man.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Then we jump into the last days, which is what the reading order I found is called Part 1, Last Days.
Okay.
Starting with Secret Wars issue 0. Not a whole lot goes on in that one. It's a lot about the Future Foundation, and this is not the FF Team Future Foundation. This is
Definitely.
after Spider-Man left the team.
Gotcha.
This is Val, Franklin, Dragon Man.
Oh, the more recent
This,
Yeah.
future.
This is when it was still white, but Johnny was gone, right?
Well,
Wasn't
this
there also
no,
Johnny?
Johnny's back. This is
Who's
after
back?
Johnny's back.
Okay, because remember, I don't know if you guys know, but like he sacrificed
Mhm,
himself.
mhm,
Okay, the
mhm.
Phantom Zone, yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
no,
back now,
Johnny's
okay.
back.
'Cause
But
that's what mourned him was the Future
Right.
Foundation.
Mhm.
Okay.
Reed, Sue, Johnny, Ben, they're not on this Future Foundation team.
Interesting.
This is just like the kids.
This is the B Squad.
Kind of.
So-
Well, it's kind of like what was that, Power Pack?
Yeah, it's kind of like a newer power pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So they're all talking about the incursions and all that stuff. And the big thing from this issue is Val and the Future Foundation, they design and make what is called the Life Raft. And that's kind of a huge deal for this storyline.
I remember that name being blurred in other storylines.
Right.
And other
Mm.
issues. It's like, oh, there's a
So
life raft.
it's
I'm
this
like,
big, massive spaceship that it's like a ring-shaped thing, too, that they call the Life Raft.
Okay.
Now, Secret Wars issue 1 does not wait for you to catch your breath or ease into it. Secret Wars issues 1 starts with the Ultimate Universe Earth, like closing in on the 616 Earth.
That's right.
Like a crisis image of
Yeah.
the two
Yes.
Earths.
And
Yeah.
that's how the book
Yeah.
starts.
Yeah.
And just
It's
like
here.
all hell breaks loose. The Ultimates are sending a hell of a lot of helicarriers led by Ultimate Iron Man, like to blow up 616 Earth.
Because things invading Earth.
Right. And then at the same time, the Avengers on the 616 Earth are counterattacking and sending a bunch of their people up to fight The Ultimates.
For listeners out there who may be new to the world of comics, which one is like the world we're familiar with? Is it
616.
Sorry, I just want to
Yeah, no,
clarify,
good
just
question.
In case, 'cause,
Mhm,
in case
Yeah.
like if someone's like, I'm new to comics, man, and you're yelling these worlds, what does this mean?
Right.
This
Right.
616 is the one where we know.
Yes,
all the heroes.
616 is the one we know.
The Ultimates is an alternate verse based
Yes.
more in reality. We'll cover the Ultimate verse at a later time. Just
Yeah.
know that
Because
it
it's
is
some great stories.
based off of the 616.
Yes.
It was started in 2000 as
Yeah.
an attempt to redo the Marvel universe as if it started in the 21st century.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was all new origins, and then it started to deviate and really kind of go with a more edgy.
Became its own thing.
Yeah, it got an edgier take on Marvel characters. So that's it in a nutshell. Like Pistol said, we will do a
Yeah.
deeper dive on the Ultimate
Mhm.
world at some point. But that's what this Earth is.
Right. And that Earth is coming in on 616 Earth, and two massive armies of heroes, and then Iron Man and Helicarrier and S.H.I.E.L.D. are coming to collide in the middle of it.
You may not know, but you know from the Ultimate, because Ultimate Universe we'll dive in later.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much wiped out. Spoiler alert, guys. Are they known heroes? Like we got the Fantastic Four, we got all the X-Men, or is
Right.
this like?
At this time, it's
Yeah.
Iron Man and Helicarriers versus Avengers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so we don't know if there's any other
Right.
heroes who are here or what time frame this falls into. With all. Okay, that's all I was curious. Sorry, thanks.
So that's going on, and like a big old battle breaks out there.
Of course.
While that's happening, Black Widow is out trying to get a bunch of scientists to get them back to load into the raft. This
Our
life
Black
raft.
Widow.
Yes,
Okay.
616
Yeah.
Black Widow. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's where it's confusing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. I'll try to make
Dry
sure I
erase for it.
differentiate. 616 Black Widow
Yeah.
is going around collecting scientists on the 616 Earth
Yes.
to
okay.
bring them back to this life raft that Val made.
Got ya. So pretty much it's like their arc, man. Like you know,
Exactly
you
what
about
it
like
is.
this is the arc for the Doomsday preparation. We got to save all the
Exactly.
smartest people in the world.
And exactly, that's why they do
Yeah.
it, so they can help rebuild human
Yeah.
society.
Pretty much, yeah.
While this is going on, all the New York villains say,
Party.
it's over,
Party.
game's over. They all meet up at a bar.
Good game, everybody.
And no, they all meet up at the bar, and they literally all raise a glass to one last
Good
drink.
Game, good game, everybody.
Like,
good game. It's over. We lost.
Kingpin is there, like all the main street level street, all of them are there. When the door gets kicked in, and standing in the door with two guns is Punisher. He's like, I knew y'all were gonna be here.
My boy.
And he just blows them all down. It's, like, I mean, he's throwing dynamite in a bucket
Dude,
full of fish.
I think the only thing that would have been better is if he was like, hey man, I got your flyer.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, it's great. He's like, and then like at the end of the book, like these are kind of all
I
happening.
wonder if they'll have that in the movie.
Right,
That would
yeah.
be cool. Hey, we got Punisher.
Yeah,
Probably.
but maybe.
But at the end of like this is all kind of happening in between. Like it'll show parts of Black Widow, then it'll show the villains.
Sure.
So it's all kind of breaking.
Kind of
up.
like the way Batman did. Kept
Yeah,
jumping
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Right.
And then at the end of the book, everything goes white. The Earths collide. Everything goes white, almost like a Crisis. Almost how when everything ends, everything goes white in Crisis.
Yeah, more,
Um,
but probably, for those out there who have gotten any of the Crisis books, I would say that those pages are probably more in line with the end of Zero Hour.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
what
like
I was thinking
Crisis does go white, but it's only for like a panel
Yeah.
or two because it was an 80s
That's
book.
true.
Whereas 0 Hour, you get like 3 white pages at the end
about. Yeah,
White, not black. Interesting.
yeah. Well,
because it's the beginning.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's hope and new life is white.
Yeah.
Black's something like death.
I don't know,
So
yeah.
this was like interesting.
But everything goes white, and in the very final panel, you only see the eyes of Doctor Doom.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
That's basically the first issue. Now,
Doom. That's in the can. What happened?
so
What I missed.
What I missed.
for this reading order I found, Secret Wars issue 0 and Secret Wars issue 1 are the only 2 books in the Last Days.
Hmm.
Okay.
Everything else in the Last Days are all the crossovers.
Holy cow. Okay.
Okay. That should make sense. Would be a lot of crossovers because like what
Right.
happened to all of our favorite heroes.
Right. Because
Well,
this
once
is all
crossovers make sense.
these are all the last days of these heroes.
Right.
What they did in
Okay,
the last
okay.
days. And I was like, this is actually kind of interesting.
That'd be
Yeah.
yeah. Because I have so many questions. Like,
Right.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Right. So I wanted to find out as well, so I read them all. The first one in this reading order, and these are, I don't think these you need to read in any certain order per se, except for maybe Silver Surfer and Loki, Agent of Asgard.
Okay.
Those are the 2 that I would read last. Otherwise, these other ones are kind of intermingle. They kind of just all happen at the same time.
All simultaneous.
I
Okay.
figure so. Like
Right.
final hour type thing.
Right.
Okay.
So the Black Widow one's the one I read next. It's basically Natasha. It's It's more of an in-depth story of her saving the scientists, trying to save them, get it all together. While she's doing it, she's reflecting on like her past at the Red Room and a mission where she had to assassinate these 2 Cuban defectors that were trying to defect to America. There was another member of the Red Room that the higher ups think that she's fallen too much in love with her cover boyfriend, like another friend of Natasha's who's kind of like moving on the wave side. She's kind of reflecting on how bad she was and how she doesn't want to be bad and how she's trying to do one last good thing before the end of the world. And that's pretty much what that story is. It's not
like a redemption arc.
Yeah, it was really kind of cool. Like, especially if you're a real big fan of Black Widow and you really want to know more of the Red Room stuff, it's a really interesting story, and it's a really interesting take to see such a cold and calculating and Black Widow that just doesn't give 2 shits about anything. Right.
They ripped her feelings away.
Right. So I mean, that's pretty much the Black Widow story. Then the next one I read was Captain America and the Mighty Avengers. Now, this was during the time when Sam Wilson was Captain America.
The first time.
Right, the first time he was Captain America, when Steve was kind of like not really there.
Right.
I think Steve,
he was old.
I was going to say, wasn't he old at that time?
Retired,
I think he had the serum pulled out of him.
Yeah. And this is one doesn't really deal with a whole lot of the Avengers itself. I mean, it shows them going around saving people best they can. It's just mainly about, apparently, and I didn't read Mighty Avengers, so I don't know this, but apparently the Mighty Avengers had a building and had like a call staff.
I did read Mighty Avengers, yes. It was a bizarre team.
Yeah, and apparently this story is being, and it's just one issue. It's issue 9.
Okay.
And this story is about the Mighty Avengers losing their building and trying to make peace with the fact that the world is ending.
So side note, sorry. The Mighty Avengers were pretty much a team where they were like, hey, I wonder what would happen if we put these guys together and they did something.
It was almost like, from what I could tell from this issue too, a Dial H for
the team
Heroes
rotated.
for Hire type thing.
The teams rotated. Like, you had Ares in it, you'd have Luke Cage for a while, you had Danny Rand. Like, I mean, the list goes.
It was
on
even
and on.
funded by Rand Incorporated.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that's why they were like,
and Rand would like set up a phone line. People could call in and say, "Hey, we need help."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they could select or show like, hey man, for this we probably need Ares, we need
right.
Luke Cage, you guys go. Like that team can solve it.
Which is an interesting concept.
It's a nice concept. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So, and this is apparently at the end of it all, they lost the building because of money.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about this though was there were 2 Avengers hotline workers. I don't remember the characters' names. I didn't write them down because I'm a fool.
No, that happens, man.
There were 2 of the workers there, and the one guy was talking to the girl. She had like a hijab, and he was telling her, he's like, "Hey, look, go ahead, go home." She's like, "Well, what do I do?" He goes, "I'm gonna stay here and keep answering calls." She's like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "There's people that need help, but." He goes, "Yeah, I've got people waiting for me, but at the same time, these people need someone to talk to too." And like, it was a really heartfelt moment listening to them on the phone with people going, "I'm really scared. I don't know what to do." And he's like, "Hey, don't worry. The Avengers are here." Like, it tears at your heart to read this. It was really tough to read. But yeah, that was about the only thing that really happened with that one. Not a whole lot there. Ms. Marvel, though, was a 3-issue run, a 3-issue mini part. It was a kind of interesting. Now, I've not read a whole lot of Ms. Marvel. I read like the first couple of issues. I watched the Disney Plus show. I've read her things in like Avengers, Champions, and such. I'm familiar with the character, but I never actually read the book. Apparently, she had some guy that she was dating that was kind of turned out to be a bad guy.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I mean, don't they all at some point? Like, yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of a big wrap up of that storyline.
Okay.
But this thing is, it shows her running around trying to save people in New Jersey because
that's what she does.
Everything's going to hell.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, though, everyone, like, they see a bunch of people running from New York and coming and running away from New York, and they're like, "Why? What's going on?" When she goes to New York,
now, it's not happening.
In New Jersey, everything in the sky looks fine. When she goes to New York, she sees the planet. Wow. It was really interesting.
Just in New York.
Yeah, as it got closer, people could see it in New Jersey too.
That makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, it was like
the breach was. And
it was like the breach was expanding out. I was like, that's kind of cool. But yeah, she ends up teaming up with Carol Danvers, which is apparently the first time she meets Carol Danvers.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is this storyline?
Cool. Yeah, she's always a fangirl, but she's never actually done a team up. I think she teamed up with more street level heroes before she teams up with Carol.
Yeah, I never realized. I thought she met up with her right away after picking the name.
Well, and see, I knew
She picked him because that was her like idol.
Sure.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
knew that in Pistol. I knew that it took a while for her to meet, but I didn't realize that it was in this story. I
Yeah.
thought they had already met by
That's
this
what I
point.
thought, too.
Okay, interesting.
So it was her last days that she met Captain Marvel.
Wow.
Her last
Okay.
name to
Oh, that's a way to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And they basically have this story arc of how they're trying to rescue her brother from her ex-boyfriend, who's trying to use like Terrigen mist on her brother to give her brother powers.
Let's see what it does to you. It
Right,
does to your sister.
because
Let's
she
see what it does to you.
got.
Terrigen.
Yep.
Always, man.
I think this was also during that time when
That old MacGuffin.
they were really pushing Inhuman stuff.
They were. With Quicksilver and
Right. They do have a couple of like little meaningful conversations back and forth. She has a really neat conversation with her mom about how her mom's always kind of known she's Ms. Marvel. She just never wanted to say anything to her. I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat little conversation.
Yeah.
And then she has a final moment on top of it, like right before everything goes white for her. She's got this really neat final moment on this rooftop where Bruno, her friend, the guy, he tells her that she tells him that she likes him, that she's always kind of liked him, but she doesn't have time for him in her life because of the Spider-Man aspect.
Sure.
And he's like, hey, I've liked you too. That whole high school teenage romance stuff. And they hold each other as the world ends.
Okay.
So that was kind of an interesting one there. It was
takes your heartstrings again, man.
Yeah, a lot of these
Oh.
a lot of these last days one, except for the Punisher one, a lot of them tug.
Of course. Of course.
My boy, Big Pun.
The Magneto one. I was surprised that there was a Magneto crossover, but he said
at the time though he was pretty popular, man, and like he
and
was
his
like
book,
big in the X-Men. Yeah,
his book at that time was fantastic.
Yeah, no, he was huge right then, so I get that.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about it was that costume. I hated that Magneto
Was it the
costume.
white one?
Yeah. With the
See, I
sleeveless.
love the. Oh, not the sleeveless one, but I love the white.
No, I love the white, but I hate
Yeah.
the sleeveless.
one.
Yeah.
But so Magneto, he's a master of magnetism. He is going to try to pull all the magnetic force from both worlds to try to save the 616. That's his plan.
Not a bad plan, man.
Right.
I mean, if anybody can do it,
it's him. No kidding.
I mean, heck, the Ultimate Magneto tilted their Earth on an axis.
Well, fun fact is, isn't he's one of like only 3 Omega level mutants, right? Or is he even
Oh
Omega
no, there's a
level?
lot.
There's a
There's
lot of them
Now,
now.
there used to, no, but back then they only had like 3 or 4.
There
it
was
like Jean Grey, Magneto, and like a few.
there was a
Iceman's always
time,
Yeah.
but they've made like everybody's. You get Omega level, and you get Omega level, and you get Omega. Now it's everybody.
Got
But
it.
yeah.
Never mind.
So while he's trying to do his pulling the magnets, powers from all that, he's getting attacked by Sentinels from the Ultimate Universe.
Oh, that sucks.
So they have apparently been using Sentinels as well. But he gets help from the 616 Shield and their helicarriers.
Oh, nice.
Even though apparently they're hunting him a lot in this book.
Of course.
They're like, we realize bigger problems are going on
Yeah,
here.
I mean, it's not Magneto. Yeah, that's a
Those
shitload
are-
of Sentinels.
Right.
Oh, let's get those first.
So they work together, and they are like kind of shielding him and covering him. Throughout the storyline, too, we get flashbacks of him preparing for this final stand, where he's going around amassing power. He first starts to try to push the worlds apart, and he can't do that. I lost my place. Sorry. We get flashbacks of his past, the way he handled major incidents in the Marvel Comics storylines, as well as him basically, because at this time too, Magneto is not fully a mutant still, because this is after House of M. He lost his mutant.
I forgot how Zim was this close to this.
Right,
Yeah, I mean his powers are there though,
but they're weak.
Yeah,
But they're weakened.
Like,
Right.
He's definitely not the Omega
He's
level.
going through and he's getting that.
Oh, he's doing the
yeah.
yeah.
He's trying. I can't remember what it's called.
God, I forgot about that too. I forgot about that story arc.
So he's going to and doing all that. Ultimately, though, he does fail and he dies, and it ends up getting like he ends up working with Polaris through all this too, and like
Yeah.
she's
Her
like
powers are very similar.
yeah,
right?
'cause she's
And
his daughter, and like at one point he pushes her out of the way when a bunch of stuff's coming in. She's like, "Why would you do this?" And people are like, "Because he's trying to protect you."
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah.
But he does ultimately fail, and he like burns himself out and dies.
Man.
And then
It's rough, buddy.
again, after that, everything goes white.
to be born again.
Do each one of these end with the pages going white?
We don't know.
Um,
Will you
I th-
listen and pay attention? Jeez, we're not there yet.
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
Spoiler alert now.
Sorry. For those of you just listening on the audio platforms and you're not seeing
My
what's
life
happening.
flashed before my eyes. I felt like I was really in danger.
Sorry, go ahead, Frank.
So the next one I read was Punisher. It was 2 issues, 19 and 20.
Okay.
This actually picks up right after he just mowed down all the guys in the bar.
Oh, it does. It picks up right after
Yep,
You
that.
know
picks
what?
up-
I guarantee what he does is reload, and it goes, now what?
Yeah. well,
And now,
I guess
apparently,
I'll have a beer.
he gets picked up by the Howling Commandos.
Oh, of course.
Hmm.
Well, that actually makes sense.
That does make sense,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They pick him up and they say, hey, this is kind of silly, but we want you to take out this terrorist.
World's coming to an end.
Right.
Go polish off one more threat. That
Right.
is- yeah.
And so Punisher spends his...
Are they concerned that the planet that's crashing in
Right.
isn't going to get the...
Well,
Right.
I mean, I
Trying to
think
do that
they're
first.
like, well, I'm sure this is an Avengers thing, not a us.
Yeah, and on top of that, they're probably thinking, this is not going to be the end. The Avengers always save us, and this guy's going to be a problem.
Okay, yeah. Because otherwise I'd be like,
And
well,
Oh,
the
man, I got bigger fish to fry.
planet's crashing in, but I don't think that planet's going to kill this guy. So we need to go take care of that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you know, how many times has that happened?
true. Yep,
So they send Punisher over to like the Middle East,
Mhm.
and Punisher spends his last days just taking out an entire terrorist camp cell.
He's probably, he's probably smiling on his face.
I was going
man.
to say,
Yeah,
for
smile on
him,
his
that's
face.
the way to...
I mean,
That's a good ending.
He gets messed up through it, as
Of
Punisher
course.
does.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
But he messes them up bad.
All right.
So it's something that you would absolutely love.
I'll
It's
say,
a,
if I don't already own it, I'll have to
yeah,
find it.
it's a fun Punisher story. If I remember right, there's a little bit of reflecting on his past because there's a lot of
Always,
themes
sure,
there.
always,
yeah.
Always.
always
It's-
is.
That's
Right.
like one of the things that Punisher
That he
does.
does,
Right.
right.
Well, not only that, that's kind of a theme with these last days thing. So,
Mhm.
but otherwise, though, it's literally just Punisher being Punisher in the Middle East. Only he's not wearing his skull.
Hmm.
He's
Oh.
wearing like military fatigues
I figured
and
he does
a
that.
ski mask and
Yeah.
such.
Oh,
He
okay.
does fatigues.
Okay.
Yeah, he went full military for this.
All right.
Oh. Then we got Ant-Man: The Last Days. This was its own little like one-shot miniseries all on its own. It wasn't actually part of the Ant-Man book, which I thought was rather interesting because I know Ant-Man's, especially nowadays, Ant-Man's popular.
He wasn't back then, though, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was
not
that
back
big,
then.
that big.
He wasn't. The fact that they gave him his own kind of like
Right.
spin-off series is actually kind of crazy.
Is it Scott or is it...
It's Scott. This
Okay.
is in the days when Scott was in Florida and he had
Oh,
his own
okay.
little like
Okay.
security firm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, I wonder if they knew the movies were coming. And that's what they're like, hey, we're going to throw those out there.
Maybe.
But I don't
Maybe.
think so, because that was so long.
That was
Sorry,
a while
so-
back.
That was so
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just surprised. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, Scott's hired to steal a medallion from this bad guy, the Slug. He's kind of, I don't know if you guys know the Slug. He's just this big old honking
Jabba the
guy.
Hutt.
Yeah. He's got this medallion
Yeah.
by this lady, Mary Morgenstern, who's the owner of a retirement home.
Cute.
Yeah. She wants him to steal this medallion for her. And he's like, well, I don't really steal anymore. I'm trying to be, you know,
Straight, yeah.
straight and all that. And she's like, yeah, but you did. And I'm your client and I pay your salary. So,
go get it.
and he's like, all right.
I'm ready to not
Right.
break into places and steal things anymore. What do you want me to do?
Break into some place.
This isn't steal
Steal stuff
something.
again.
So he goes and does it. He gets it away. There's a little bit of a Marvel kerfuffle, and he gets the medallion and he takes it back. When he brings it back, he finds out that he asks her, he's like, "What did you want this for?" She takes him over to this like cabinet curio thing that she opens up, and
Sure.
she's got like a shrine in there. She was a hero from the 40s called Miss Patriot,
Okay.
and all of the people in the retirement homes are Golden Age heroes.
Oh, that's pretty
Ah.
cool.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
neat.
It's a really cool book. And then Miss Patriot, or Mary Morgenstern, uses the medallions to make all the old people young again for like a day.
Oh,
that's cool.
the last day.
Yeah,
right.
like that,
And
that's
while
it.
they're doing that, they're saving people on their last day.
Wow.
That's super awesome.
That's actually pretty cool. That's
Right.
kind of like...
I may cry.
That's
Yeah.
kind of...
I may cry.
I don't know if you guys ever saw the
Cocoon?
well, Cocoon, yeah, but no, I was thinking more the Twilight Zone movie. One of the segments, I think
yeah.
it was the
Gosh.
Spielberg directed segment in Twilight Zone the movie, which was they adapted one of the old episodes where it was like an old folks home
Mhm.
and they're allowed to be young for the night and It sounds
That's
like
right.
it's like
It's
a
kinda like
superhero
that, yeah.
version of that. Yeah, that's really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind reading that. That sounds neat.
Everyone got young but her.
Oh,
She didn't make
okay.
herself young.
Interesting.
And Scott's like, why? And she tells Scott that she can see the future. And she saw, in fact, this is a kind of a running thing in the story where there's this hidden person like on the news saying this is going to happen, and then it happens. And she
Oh.
was this person.
It's the Watcher.
No,
Yeah.
but she predicted the end of the world.
Okay. Okay.
And so she's like, look, I know this is coming. I've made peace with it, but these people, they want to do one last good
Yeah, they
thing.
want, they want
Okay.
one last hurrah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And she's like, everyone wants to do their one thing last. And Scott then's like, you know what? I need to do my one last thing. And he tries to go see Cassie
Okay.
to be with her for the end of days.
Daughter.
Yeah. No. Thanks. Thanks for that. Sorry.
No, you're good. So he goes to try to find Cassie to be with her for the end of days, but finds out that she is in Atlanta with her school. And
That sucks. You get to like
Yeah,
Philly.
they're
Like,
also-
you're not to Atlanta, man.
they're
kidding?
also kind of like estranged at this time. Like she
Oh,
doesn't want
yeah.
anything to really do with him.
Okay,
And so he
okay.
was really trying to branch out, and now he can't say goodbye to his daughter.
Oh wow.
Was this
Okay.
during Young Avengers? Any chance? Or
A little after Young Avengers.
Okay, because yeah.
Okay.
So she was Stature at this point.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was wondering. Yeah, because I know.
No,
there's
I think
mentions.
she was Stature, but now she is not at this point.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something like that.
Okay.
And then at the very end, Scott goes to a bar, gets shit faced, and
And
ends up.
Punisher comes in.
No, he ends
Shit
up.
walking away here.
He ends up hooking up with Beetle, the female version of Beetle.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
From what
I
I
mean-
could tell, she was kind of involved in a lot of his storylines.
Okay. Okay.
And he spends his last night banging Beetle, and then the
Yeah.
world ends.
Alright.
You know,
Everything's
know
go
what?
white
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
sleepy.
go with a smile, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody's going with a smile, like you
Right.
know,
Right.
Punisher kills people, and that puts a
Mhm.
smile on his face, and
Right.
Scott steals some stuff and bangs somebody.
Yeah.
So
Now, all these crossovers that I've just described, every one of them, they're not that important to the story.
they're just additional.
They're,
just
yeah.
they're
fun, yeah,
great
fun, what,
additional
like-
fun
Yeah,
stories.
just see
Okay.
what happened to your character you love.
These last two, the importance to because like I said, listers, I haven't finished reading it yet because it's a lot.
Uh-huh.
The importance on this remains to be seen.
Okay.
It's-
But they feel important.
They feel important.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
So the last two I have on here are Silver Surfer and Loki.
All right.
Okay.
Silver Surfer at this time has a girlfriend named Dawn Greenwood. This is that time when he was traveling through space with the human girl showing her the space.
Oh, so this is during the Mike Allred series,
Yes.
which was a
Okay.
fun series.
He Aladdined her.
yeah.
Kind
I
of.
can show you the world.
He showed
Yeah.
her a whole
all
new
the worlds.
world.
Yeah, I can show you all the
Yeah.
worlds. Do you
Yeah.
trust me? Get on the surfboard.
I read the
No.
first
No,
like
leave me alone, weirdo.
Oh,
Put pants on.
Yeah.
I read the first like story arc or two of that run, and it was interesting. It was kind of cool.
It's very sci-fi-ish.
Very, very sci-fi. And if you like Michael Allred, I'm a huge fan of the
Mhm.
Atomics. Maybe we'll do a
That'd be fun.
deep dive on the Atomics and Madman and that kind of stuff at some
Yeah.
point. But if you like his stuff, if you liked the Ecstatics and his X-Force run, it's very much in line with that. Very kind of, Mod Squad kind of style.
Yeah. So that's very much what a lot of this is. The first few pages of the first issue, because it's issues 13 and 14 of Silver Surfer,
Mhm.
2014 run. The first few pages is Surfer and Dawn visiting previous characters that they've met in previous story arcs.
Okay.
So they're going around kind of having a tour, like, hey, how you doing? Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hey, what's going on?
Status update.
Right. While they're doing it, they are visited by this person called the Never Queen, who is apparently made up of all possibilities.
Okay. Neat.
Right. This is stuff that I can't even comprehend.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she is fading away. The one who is made up of all possibilities is dying.
Because all possibilities are ending because the worlds are colliding.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense.
Well, just get Bastion to name her. Isn't that how you defeat the Nothing?
Hey, man,
Mhm.
your name's Sarah now.
Yeah.
You know.
Welcome. Like, you're fine.
So she's fading away, and she tells Surfer and Dawn to run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you
Okay.
going? Where are you going to go?
So, because she can't see what's happening.
I
She doesn't know what's going on.
right.
So she
Like,
says,
just go.
run.
Just, yeah, get out
Okay.
of here. Right.
So Surfer and Dawn, they try surfing back in time with his cosmic powers.
Interesting.
So they
Didn't know the cosmic powers could do that, but okay.
with the blah blah device.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But with the world, like Surfer surfs into like almost like the Wave Rider from DC. Those,
yeah.
I figured
those
they were-
tunnels that he would
yeah,
go to.
yeah.
Surfer goes into a Marvel version of that.
I bet those are fading too.
Him and Dawn go in there, and everything in there is deteriorating.
Because this universe is going, man.
Yep.
It's not just the world, it's universes.
Good call.
And history, yeah.
And while they're surfing through there, Dawn sees herself from the future, and future Dawn looks at her and says, and sends the two of them into a fabric tear in the time stream, saying, "You need to go there. That's where you got to run to
Okay.
to be safe." The interesting thing about that was they showed future Dawn talking to Surfer, and he's like, "Did you tell her?" And he goes, "Yeah, even though I know what's going to happen to her."
Oh, go here. You got to do something here. You ain't going to make it.
Yeah.
But I need you to still do this thing to set these things in motion.
So they enter a nothing. They enter like from this tear into nothingness, where they come across the eternity. And if you have seen Thor: Love and Thunder, Eternity's the guy at the end of that.
Yeah.
They've come across Eternity, but his face is the mask of Doctor Doom.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's why
I say it remains to be unseen.
Yep.
Inside the nothingness is this character Glorian the Miracle Maker and his partner the Lowly Z.
The Lowly Z.
Z-E-E. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Glorian tells them that eternity looks like that because Doom is what holds the world together. He's all that's left holding it together. And there are a few heroes still left out there, the ones that escaped in the raft.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's happening. They ended up finding out that they're not really at a nothingness, but they're standing on the Shaper of Worlds, who's this big old massive cosmic being. And Glorian tells them that they can use the Shaper of World to bring back existence. So Dawn decides she's going to bring her family back because she hasn't seen them since they've been in the world. And so she brings she brings her family back by tapping into the Shaper's powers, then starts recreating the Earth. Surfer begins to restore the universe. And like Lowly Z is working with Dawn while she's recreating the Earth.
Okay.
With the Shaper's powers. Glorian is with Surfer, and they're flying around the universe, and he's recreating the universe with these powers.
Okay.
Right. Like, this is like massive.
Yeah, dude, my head hurts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine did too, reading that.
Yeah.
The only thing is, Surfer and Dawn, they're remaking things wrong. And it almost feels like Glorian and Z are purposely pushing them in wrong directions.
Okay.
Surfer brings back Galactus.
Okay.
And then destroys him instantly.
Hey, man.
Right.
Welcome back. Hate you.
Well, he brings it back. And
Let's
then,
put this. No, I don't like that.
No, he brings it back and he goes, "Yes, this is the universe, but I can make the universe better." And Galactus destroys life. So he wipes out Galactus.
Okay.
He starts to restore all the planets that Galactus ate. Dawn calls to the Surfer to help remake Earth. Because she's like, "Hey, I don't remember a lot of the Earth."
Yeah.
So he comes down and they start remaking Earth, and his silver shell is removed to reveal Norrin Rad.
Okay.
He's using a lot of his power up, man.
Yeah. And then the Shaper begins to awake, saying all is wrong.
Okay.
Now, I say this remains to be seen on what happens because if I remember right, I guess I messed up, listeners. I don't have notes on here. You find out, though, that Glorian Z is with Surfer, and this Surfer that's with Dawn is not the real Surfer. It's a fake Surfer. Yeah, it gets real trippy.
Okay, I was with
in.
you
Right,
I
all
was
the way
in.
up until you started talking about the surfer ones.
Yeah.
I feel like
I was with you.
Same
feel
with
like
me.
I feel like the writer was like, "Hey man, I don't know where to go with this."
Wow.
Fake surfer.
Like all sorts of craziness happens, and that's like I said, all this is happening. She's making the Earth with the fake surfer, but things aren't being made right. He's
Okay.
making the universe with Glorian, and things aren't being made right. And then the Shaper wakes up saying, "This is all wrong."
You done fucked.
Yeah, you
Right.
done messed up, Ron.
Yeah. And that's kind of where that story is. I remember, looking through my notes here, it's not like that one comes back, and I don't remember what happens after that. To be honest.
Okay.
So-
Yeah.
If there is something, I apologize. It's been a while since I read these already, and I don't remember.
If there's something, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the last one is Loki, Agent of Asgard. Now this is kind of like a teenage but older teenage.
Yeah,
Loki.
it was when he was
Yeah.
a good guy Loki.
Isn't he just going through all the different like ages and whatnot, trying to figure himself out?
He was changing a lot at the time. Like it was after him being a woman, after him being a little kid. He was a little more
Yes,
like
that time,
like
sorry,
yeah,
okay,
teenager,
that's right,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Secret Wars came out in 2015, which was after Avengers. So Loki was really
Yeah, okay.
pushed at this
Yeah,
time.
My God, Secret Wars is almost 10 years older.
I know.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
So in Loki, Agent of Asgard, Asgardians led by Odin are fighting the army of Hela.
Okay.
They think Hela is trying to destroy 616, but they're not very clear.
Okay,
There are
too much mead the night
Yeah, I
before.
guess.
There are two Lokis in this one: an evil Loki and who's like the evil adult Loki looks like the one from the Straczynski run
In the
Oh, with the
onesie?
fur, you mean?
with the fur
Oh, the fur,
collar
okay.
and the fingernail.
Yeah, that's one I thought.
Right.
Okay.
He's an adult Loki. The other one's kind of that young adult
Right.
teenage Loki. Adult evil Loki teamed up with Hela, but ran away when he was beginning to get outnumbered by the agents of Asgard, or by Odin and his army. Teen Loki wants nothing to do with either side. He just wants to sit back and watch and just kind of be chaos. Teen Loki and the ghost of his friend Verity, who I'm not quite sure who that is. I haven't read Loki, Agent of Asgard, but he's got a teen human friend who's a ghost named Verity. She's all like kind of annoyed with him throughout the book.
Okay.
They find
Well, it's probably because she's a ghost. I mean, I would be annoyed
Right.
too if I was a ghost.
Loki tries to they go to try to teleport away, and they find themselves in the nothingness where Surfer is.
I'm telling you, just get Bastion to give her a name. That's all you need to do to fight the Nothing.
Do I smell a team up?
That's what I thought too. But they're in the nothingness, but they're also surrounded by like bigger gods.
Oh.
Like God,
It's
not
like an
just
eternal
celestials,
thing.
but like big
Yeah.
gods who made the gods.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are they are supposed to be who the Asgardians pray to.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, these are big gods. Loki goes on an existential diatribe about who should be there, or who should be gods and who shouldn't, and if humans didn't. My notes are all messed up here. He goes on this diatribe about would there be gods if humans didn't even pray to them.
Okay.
So
an existential
right.
kind
So
of crisis.
if there's
of
no
sorts.
gods to pray to them, then there's no
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
friend you're forgotten. If you're forgotten, then you don't exist.
right.
Yeah.
He then has this meta conversation with adult Loki, King Loki, in the nothingness. He also shows up there, and they have this big conversation where King Loki ends up they have this meta talk about, I'm you, you're me, we're actually gonna be good, blah blah blah. And King Loki actually ends up becoming the blue gem for his staff. Through this conversation, he kind of realizes, oh yeah, we're kind of doing the same thing anyway.
He becomes the gem?
Yeah. So it's obviously, since it's not Infinity Stones in the Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's the gem in the staff. Kind of like he wants him there at all times as a cautionary tale of what he could be as well. Team Loki wants him there.
Okay.
Team Loki draws a door in the nothingness and walks through it. He also mentioned...
You mean like Daffy Duck style?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he literally draws
Yep.
the door and is okay. All right.
Yeah. And he also mentions about how Surfer in the nothingness and something about Doom and the planet of Thors.
Okay.
All right.
And he kind of walks through the door, and that's where it kind of ends.
Wow. Okay.
So, like I said, these last two, they feel like they're going to be somewhat important.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten to where.
So that's all of part one.
And that's the last days. I kind of go through it kind of quickly, but
That's just a lot, man.
I mean, that's a lot, though. I mean,
Right.
How many issues is just that alone?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 issues.
Just for part one.
Just for part one.
Yep.
Just for part one. So part one alone is 7 issues more than what the original Secret Wars was in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm
In
just
fact,
thinking money
part
if you
one
buy it,
alone is Secret Wars and Secret War combined.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Holy cow. Just part one.
Mhm.
How many parts are there?
7?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
7, yeah.
holy cow.
Yeah.
So
I
on
remember
that,
I remember it went on for a while. I started trying to keep up with it and was like,
I
I'm
did
broke,
too.
man. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't. So,
I had to do Marvel Unlimited to read all
yeah.
these.
wow.
I just did the main
Wow.
story arc because I was like, I can't get it all.
Yeah.
Wow. So so you're talking probably 120, maybe 130
Mhm.
books to the Secret
Yeah.
Wars total.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When it's all said and done. No
They-
wonder this is going to be a multi-part.
They stretched that thing out too.
And
Ooh.
part 2 is bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Because part 2 is Battle World, isn't it?
Part 2 is Battle.
I do
Yeah,
love Battle
Battle
World.
World was great. Exactly.
The
Right.
Ghost Racers.
Oh,
I
the Ghost
love
Ra- yeah.
that.
There was a lot of that stuff that I read too, so I'll
Yeah.
be looking forward to getting into that
That's
episode.
the interesting different worlds and people going, I'm gonna go there. And it's like, why, dude? Why
Yeah.
go there? And,
Right.
That was just cool. So yeah,
It'd be interesting to see how much of this stuff
makes it
into the movie when the
Yeah,
movie finally does
I don't
come
think.
about.
Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get. Well, we could get some of that Magneto stuff.
I
If
can
the
see it
X-Men
a
are
little bit,
introduced.
but man. It's,
Maybe. I
unless
don't
you do
know.
a 7-part movie, like
Because looking at
That's a
this
lot.
here, if we do anything with Black Widow in the movies, it'll be Yelena.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I don't, and if we do that, I don't see that being its own movie in itself. I see that being like a 10-minute
Yes.
portion at most.
I also feel like, and again, I have not seen, at the time of this recording, I've not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp:
Mhm.
Quantumania yet. Not to mention whatever else is still coming down the line.
Right.
But I also wonder if, we're not going to get Doctor Doom, and if Kang is going to end up doing the Doom storyline in Secret Wars, like if they'll replace. I don't know.
It's possible.
They're
They're kind of building him up as a
they're
multiversal
really
threat.
big.
So it's
However, the
possible,
movie
yeah.
right before that is called Kang Dynasty. So is his storyline done then, or who knows? I don't know.
Boy, I hope not. I really want Doom.
Time will tell.
I know, but I mean that's a lot. That I just feel like you got to give us Doom now to build to that. Then, and they're not doing it. They're giving us Kang now. That's why I
Well,
wonder.
they're not because again, they're not giving us any Fantastic Four
Right.
yet. you
Right.
know?
Which that's another question because I know I've not read. I read the main story when
Mhm.
this came out. Prime. I did not read all these tie-ins that you've done and done all the research
Right.
that you've done on this. So you probably will know more than I do. But what I remember is that Reed and the FF and them they play just as important a role in all of the Secret Wars as Doom does.
Yes.
So, like, if they are not, like, if you're not going to have Doom and you're going to replace him with Kang, you really can't have the FF,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mhm.
Well,
so that means you're going to have
gotta replace
somebody
with
else
somebody.
to replace with.
Right.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's what the Enter Thunderbolts.
Oh, God.
Or Young Avengers. I mean,
Could
they
be.
secretly built them up in the
Yeah.
background.
Could
Who
be.
did you say? The Young Avengers?
Young Avengers, yeah.
Well, that's a good question for everybody out there. I mean, obviously, of course, we want to know if you guys have read this version of Secret Wars, if you have read the issues of Part 1 that Dragonus Prime here covered in this first installment of our breakdown of Marvel's Secret Wars, and how you feel about all that. But also, let us know what your speculations are of what you think may or may not be used from this in the movie. I mean, we've got, what are we looking at, 7 years before the movie, 6 years before the movie?
something like that.
Something like that. So we got
Lot
some
can
time.
change.
Let's speculate. Let's,
At least 5.
yeah, find us on the social medias, or comment right here at the bottom of the video, or just get in touch with us, guys, because we want to know what your speculations are too. Because maybe there's an idea that we're not thinking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of work, Prime.
Yep. And part 2's, I just counted up, 28 issues.
Holy cow. Smurfy's done. Smurfy's done.
Strap in, boys. We got a long one.
All right. All right. Well, till next time, guys.
That's right. I am. Oh.
Whatever, go.
We're exhausted.
That's how I'm so tired.
We're so exhausted from the Secret Wars.
I just need to lay on the floor over here.
Yeah.
I'm Dragonus Prime.
Smurfy.
I'm tired.
Ghost racing the whip, baby. Pistol danger.
See you in the funny pages.
And now you know. But as they say, knowing is only half the battle. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show on your favorite platform. And follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And spread the word to all the listeners out there.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.